The ultra-leftist activist disguised as Fulton County DA, Fani Willis, just got some really bad news. We're going to take a look at the latest with her fledgling case against President Trump, and we're going to see why even the liberal media is starting to panic here about what's really happening in the state of Georgia. You're going to absolutely love this. Greetings, everyone. It is me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. And if you would, it would be an honor if you could share this video with friends and family. We are once again being suppressed by big tech, so I need your help to get the hopeful message of this channel out to as many people as possible. Now, many of you have heard of the latest, shall we say, setback for the prosecution of President Trump in Fulton County. The judge presiding over the proceedings, Judge Scott McAfee, has ruled that President Trump will not be obliged to face trial in October alongside co-defendants Kenneth Chesebro and Sidney Powell, both of whom filed for a speedy trial. This was a blow to Fani Willis because she wanted to try all 19 defendants together. ABC News admitted in a tweet that this was not what Fani Willis wanted. Quote, Fani Willis wasn't there, but you got to imagine she's throwing things against the wall based on this hearing. Great win for Donald Trump and others that did not want to be part of the speedy trial case. So that was certainly a big win for Trump. He's in the process, of course, along with Mark Meadows, his former chief of staff. They're both filing to have the case removed from state court to federal court on the grounds that this case targets their actions as federal officials. The operative principle there is that federal officials can't be targeted under state laws for actions they took in their official capacity as federal officials. This is part of the federalist system in which certain issues are reserved for states and others for the federal government to handle. And here's the key. In the past, whenever federal courts intervene, in every single instance, when the removal was granted, when the case was taken from local prosecutors to federal prosecutors, the case always got dismissed. So that's why a number of legal scholars don't think this case will even ever see the light of day. A number of these defendants have already petitioned for the case to be removed from the local courts to the federal courts. And whenever that's granted, historically, the case is thrown out. But something else is happening here that promises to be perhaps even more momentous than any particular pathetic Fulton County case that'll have no chance of withstanding judicial review. Public sentiment, particularly in the state of Georgia, is turning rapidly and overwhelmingly against this whole weaponized lawfare circus. A recent Rasmussen survey found that nearly 60% of likely Georgia voters believe that Willis is unfairly prosecuting Trump. Moreover, 53% of Georgia voters support calling a special session of the legislature to prevent Willis from bringing charges against Trump, and that is reanimating a surge in calls among Georgia lawmakers to stop Fani Willis in her tracks and crush this prosecution once and for all. And it's got the leftist woke media panicked. Wait until you see this. But first, gang, you know how you could really stick it to the woke left? It's just by clicking on that link below and getting your very own set of these collectible, limited supply Trump cards. Patriots played their anti-globalist Trump card against the left in 2016, and we're getting ready to play it again in 2024. So what better way to show your support for Trump's re-election than with these 5 collectible pieces of Trump art? These cards have a limited supply, so don't wait. Only 2,500 sets of these cards are set to be made, and they all come with a certificate of authenticity verifying that you own an original set. These make great gifts for any MAGA patriot in your life, and if you buy 2 sets, you'll also get a bonus gold Trump 2024 card absolutely free. These physical cards are high quality, made in America, and highly collectible. But again, there's only a limited supply, so don't wait. By the time you remember, they'll likely be gone. So click on that link below right now and get your Trump cards today. NPR just published a rather panicked piece on how the calls for a special legislative session to deal decisively with Fani Willis are growing louder and louder by the day. The growing effort is being led by Georgia State Representative Colton Moore, who's calling for the state government to cut funds off from the Fulton County DA's office and begin impeachment hearings on Fani Willis to discover just how far the weaponization of Georgia's legal system has gone. Now, the repulsive rhino governor, Brian Kemp, who thinks the 2020 election was the most pristine election ever in the history of humanity, he's, of course, pushing back against these impeachment efforts. I mean, after all, who needs Democrats when you have such loyal, spineless rhinos? And on top of that fecklessness, you also have the Georgia Attorney General Chris Carr, again, another Republican, who's refusing to step in and get involved in the motion that was filed to remove the case from state court to federal court, even though Georgia state law requires the Attorney General to be involved in any state criminal case that could be removed to federal court. We talked about this before in a couple of other videos, but a Republican Attorney General in Georgia could shut this circus down this very second, but he refuses to do so. And it's all because these feckless rhino establishment hacks, they're all in on it. They want Trump indicted. They want Trump taken out. But it's all ultimately to no avail. Even Newsweek is admitting that Trump is crushing Biden in the polls in Georgia. Were the election held today, he would stomp Biden way beyond the margin of fraud. All of this weaponized legalism and all of this rhino establishment cooperation with that weaponized legalism really seems to be doing nothing more than growing Trump's support rather than stifling it. So all of that means ultimately that while Fani Willis's case may eventually crumble by way of judicial review, the bell appears to be tolling for the whole of Georgia's corrupt system as 2024 approaches. Hey gang, I know what it's like to feel alone out there in these turbulent times, but I broke free. If you too have been looking for a community with like-minded patriots who are serious about resisting globalism, building a parallel economy, and having intelligent and deep fellowship on a regular basis, then you've come to the right place. In my Courageous Patriot Insiders community, we're building a close-knit movement of, by, and for patriots who are breaking free from the outrage and despair cycles of the mainstream media and taking on the fight against globalism. Every week, I deep dive into the content I can't share on big tech and give you the cliff notes on the truth of how patriots just like you are building up their communities, starting patriot businesses, and fighting the woke in both public and private. All with a few history and political lessons from yours truly, of course. If you want to stop feeling alone as a patriot and stand together with this fast-growing community, be sure to click on the link in the description below. Don't wait. Join me and my Patriot Coalition today, and let's get fighting.